So today, my guest, wow, you know, I looked her up once again because I want to make sure that I can tell you how talented this person is. Okay, she is not only a career and life coach, but she's a resume and bio writer, personal image consultant, content editor, motivational speaker and trainer, so watch out there. And if you have seen her and followed her on Instagram, you know that she has she comes across to you from Dina's desk. I'm going to get that right. From Dina's desk on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. So if after this broadcast that you want to follow her, you can most definitely follow her from I don't know why I want to say from Dina's desk on Tuesdays at 12 noon on Instagram. And she may tell you about other platforms, but let me introduce her with her name. Her name is Dina Bilbrew, and I am welcoming her once again to the Women's Leadership Forum platform. Welcome, Dina.
Hi, Colette. Thank you so much. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. And today's topic, gosh, you know, maybe I wanted to reinvent myself this week as like the superwoman, because it seemed as though we had to talk about budgets, we had to talk about salaries, we talked about diversity, equity, and inclusion. It seemed like all the HR hats that I had to come. It was coming at me so fast that this week felt like one big day after, from Monday to Friday. And so I don't know about you if you had that kind of week, but did you?
Similar, very similar week as I was sharing with you earlier. There was a lot going on this week, but I'm glad that you helped me to reframe it as it was challenges. It was some growing pains, some things that were some good challenges. Because, as you go throughout your life and as you go throughout your career, you have certain things that come up, you have certain pain points or what have you, and they just become challenges for you to overcome. So I definitely thank you for that. There definitely was some challenges this week.
Yeah, and guess what? For those who are viewing us and listening, those challenges actually make us grow and make us better. And so let's consider Friday. We are Better For It Friday. How about that? Better For It Friday. So in that, we have a pretty large topic that we're talking about, and that is reinventing yourself. Reinventing yourself. What exactly is reinventing yourself, Dina?
Well, reinventing yourself is just creating yourself again, or just creating yourself over again, right? Because as we go throughout our life and our career, like I just said, there are so many different things that come up. You can be on a job for 30 or 40 years, and you might just get bored. You simply might just get bored. I know I have several times. And so you just need to find something to give you an extra spark, or find something to just kind of keep you going and keep you motivated. And so you just want to kind of reinvent yourself and just figure out, again, what do I want to be when I grow up? I think we talk about that a lot in high school. You may have your high school counselor, one of your teachers, or even your parents ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? But I don't think we should ever stop asking ourselves that question. What do I want to be? I've been here in this particular space for 10 years maybe. Now what do I want to be now that I'm in my 30s? What do I want to be now that I'm in my 40s and 50s and so on, I think it's just that continuous just evolving, continuously becoming better. Now that I've mastered this, I've learned how to do one particular thing for a while, and now I want to move and pick on another challenge, because I'm someone in particular who loves to continuously growing. That lifelong learning, I love to learn new things. So I'm constantly, just by default, I think, reinventing myself without even really trying. But really, if you were to just make it very simple, it's just creating yourself over again. Just saying, who do I want to be now at this particular point in my life, at this particular stage in my career? Who do I want to be?
Mm-hmm. So I heard you say sometimes we're on a job for 10, 20 years and we get bored. And what I also hear you say is that that is an opportunity. You used that word earlier. That's an opportunity to reinvent yourself. And so where do I get started? I know you asked, you said, ask yourself the question, what do I want to be? But if you're like in a fog, is it something that you Google, or is it something you go to the library? How do you even get started? You just know, because I know sometimes people say to me, my job is just so boring. And first I start looking and saying, well, mine isn't, but how do I lead them to say, hey, maybe you need to, and I'm asking you to fill in the blank.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of times, it does start, within. I think you start to have that feeling. I think you start to maybe feel bored. You feel maybe not living up to your fullest potential. So it's that inward spark on the inside of you that's saying, wow, I could be doing something different. At this particular point in my life, I have different interests. So I really think it starts inward. And then I think, there are plenty of different assessments and things that you can take. There are plenty of different places you can go to maybe just kind of ask yourself some questions, because maybe you don't really know what else you could do. You maybe have been stuck in a particular space for a while, and you need to kind of go and ask some questions of what are the things that you're good at? What are the things that you enjoy doing? What are some of the things that other people compliment you on? What are those things you hear over and over and over and say, oh, you're really good at that? What have you become a subject matter expert on? Those are some of those questions, and kind of, pair it up with some of these assessments that are out here and just kind of, get a report that way, right? And then it's always good to have a thought partner. And that thought partner can be a mentor. It could be someone that's a life coach, a career coach like myself. It could be a business coach. It's always good to have somebody to kind of pick their brain, so to speak, right? And to kind of think things out loud with that person, just to kind of make sure that you're, on the right track. So I definitely, think that you want to think about those questions, ask yourself some questions, kind of take some of those assessments out there, and then go and talk with someone else who maybe can kind of help you come up with a transitional plan.
Okay, so we talk about reinvention, right? Mm-hmm. And for those who don't know what that possibly could look like, we put the entertainers sometimes up on high, and it's easier to see because they are the most visible entities. So who would be some of those, folks that may perhaps have reinvented themselves?
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but maybe someone that, maybe started off as a singer and then they moved into being an actor, or vice versa. Or maybe somebody, that was an athlete that maybe moved into being a broadcaster. I think we talked about Stephen A. Smith before, right?
Okay, Stephen. Don't get me started on Stephen A. Smith. But I'm not even sure if he was an athlete. No slight, Stephen A. Smith. But yeah, whatever he did, he transformed himself. I said, Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan, played for the Giants. Right. Now he's a broadcaster, or early morning broadcaster, and not just for sports. So he also reports on the news. But I was, Madonna at one point in time was like the queen of like reinvention. Oh, how about this singer? Oh, what is her name? Jennifer Hudson, right? She's now been an actress, or she is an actress. She's an actress singer, right? So yeah, you can, but those things don't come overnight. So just because you're like bored one day doesn't mean you wake up reinvented.
Right. It takes time, sometimes it may be something that you have to think about for a while. You may want to do it, but maybe you need to, like I said, you maybe need to get a mentor, somebody to help you with that. Maybe you need to get more education to do whatever it is you want to do. You may want to get certain computer skills or training or something like that to be able to make that transition. So sometimes it can happen pretty quickly, and then sometimes, you know, it may take a little bit of time. But the thing about it is it's your unique journey. That's the beauty of it. There is no rush. So, you know, we want to make sure that we're not comparing ourselves to, you know, a celebrity or something like that, right? You want to make sure that you're thinking about yourself. It's your unique journey, and you're reinventing yourself. So you're not competing with anybody else. There is no right or wrong. So if it takes you a little bit longer, then it's really no big deal.
And okay, since you said that, let us also be careful about friends, because they can give some bad talk or bad mouthing to your wanting to do something different. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, people try to go back to school all the time to get more knowledge. And some people discourage them from doing that, because why at this age? Why now? Why do you want? But what you said is so true and so evident for people. It's like this is your life, mm-hmm. and this is your time. And if you choose to make that shift, you know, the shift is yours to make. No one else. And I don't know, you know, there was, I don't know if it was you or if it was another co-host that said you'll have to encourage yourself on that.
Absolutely.
And it's okay. So, you know, once we take that step and that leap of faith, and we're in the job, right? And say we are going to school. How do you actually make that turn? Like, you just say bye to the job, or, you know?
Well, it depends on your individual, you know, situation.
Okay.
Some people do have the luxury of just saying, okay, you know, I'm done, you know, it's been nice, and I'm out, you know, that type of thing.
Right.
But most of the time, you want to have some kind of transitional plan, right?
Yeah.
You may want to decide, okay, by this time next year, I want to be doing X, Y, and Z, right? And so within that year, you're preparing yourself, you may be, you know, getting your education, you may be saving up financially, because sometimes, you know, you take a job that may or may not be paying the same, maybe paying less or paying more, what have you. And so maybe you need to prepare financially if there's going to be a difference, and, you know, just really take your time with that. So again, that's going to be something that's going to be your unique journey. There is no right or wrong, but you definitely want to make sure you make the best decision for yourself, and don't leave until you're ready. You know, once you're sure, once you're ready, because you don't want any regrets, you know, you definitely want to make sure you're making a good decision for yourself. So that's really going to be an individual thing.
Okay. And so, you know, as coaches, we talk a lot about goals and goal setting. Mm-hmm. And so even in your reinvention, what I'm hearing you say is that have a SMART goal. Mm-hmm. Have a SMART goal even in your reinvention to make sure that you you can reach your targets well, mm-hmm. and safely and securely, and that you won't have regrets, right? Right. So is there anything else that you would like to lend us on the whole reinvention part?
I just want to encourage people. You know, I want to encourage you that definitely, you know, during this particular period that we're in, you may have some extra time on your hand. Maybe if you are working from home, you know, a little bit more, or we're not able to go out as much as we have been, and you may have a little bit more time on your hand. This is a great time to think about this. Think about that. This is a great time to reinvent yourself, and a great time to upskill, you know, learn something new. There are a lot of online classes that people offer. A lot of them are free or relatively low cost, so you can get an additional skill. You know, you can learn something new. You can look into, you know, what do I want to be when I grow up? You know, you may already be, you know, in your 30s or 40s, but what do I want to be in this next phase of my life? And really take the time to think about that, and really just, you know, sit with that a little bit and see what is it that you want to do, and know that you can do whatever, you know, you want to do. And if there's people who are speaking to you negatively, get away from those people. Get away from those people that are speaking to you negatively, because truth be told, a lot of times it may be that they're a little bit jealous that you're moving forward in a particular reason, and they're still stuck. So get away from those people, get that negativity out of your ear, and just know that, you know, you can do it, and you can reinvent yourself as many times as you want. So no limits.
And so, and let me also talk to a particular sector here. The retiring crowd out there, those who are thinking about retiring. You know, yes, retirement is cracked up with it. It is what it says it is. It is retiring, but it's not retiring of your mind.
Right.
It's not retiring. And many retirees have come to me and said they don't know what they're going to do in retirement. Mm-hmm. They have no clue, but they know that they don't want to do what they're currently doing while they're working. They have not a clue what they're going to do when they're retiring. That last year or last 2 years is an opportunity. Well, while we don't call it that necessarily, to reinvent yourself, to figure out what will you do in retirement. That is reinvention. You might not do the same thing that you've been doing that got you to retirement. So if you have opportunity to learn a new skill, if you have opportunity to volunteer, be on a board, immerse yourself in something else different, here's an opportunity to be an expert, like Dina said. You know, there's plenty of material out there. There's plenty of free things out there. The library is out there. By the way, it opened up today. So there's plenty of things that are available in your path that allow you not to be bored in your retirement. Now, some of you say you just want to travel in retirement. That's all you want to do. No harm, no foul. But you should not be bored. You should not be bored. And that's important. Figure out what you're going to do. That is a goal. Not just retiring is a goal, but what will you do in retirement becomes a goal. So I wanted to put that out there because a lot of times, you know, we end up talking to the career-minded folks. But for those who've had careers and who are transitioning out of working that 9 to 5, hey, figure out what you're going to do next so you're not bored in your retirement. Sometimes it's a great time to start an entrepreneurial venture. But why start from scratch? If you have that opportunity to transition right out of work and reinvent yourself, as Dina said, to being an entrepreneur, get started. Get started because being an entrepreneur is not a joke. There's a lot going on, as Dina can tell you, being an entrepreneur. Just getting started and all the paperwork, getting registered, getting everybody, you know, on board. So think about that. So today we talked about reinvention. I want to thank my guest, Dina Bilbrew. You heard all the credentials. You heard her truth. You heard her give you some sage advice for moving moving forward. And we want you all to be encouraged in everything that you do.